All right, so the question every software engineer is asked at one point, how did you start programming? Well, for me, it's not actually a very spectacular story. Like, I started how I assume most people do. Like, I was interested, and so I started watching YouTube videos, and I found a series or two that were based on the language that I chose to learn. And I just learned the basics, like how to print hello world to the screen and how to actually get user input. And when I started, I decided that I was going to start with Java. The reason why I started with Java was because it was so widely used and there were so many tutorials and videos and things out for it. So I figured it'd be a safe bet in terms of getting started. But soon after starting to learn how to code in Java, I kind of ran into a problem that a lot of people do, and it's this kind of tutorial hole where you just keep watching tutorial after tutorial after tutorial, and you never really are applying any of the skills you're learning to anything. Like, sure, you know how to print hello world to the screen, but you haven't actually created anything of value, and you don't really know where to start on your actual personal projects. So I was in that hole about until around the time I got this book. So this book, it's titled Minecraft Mod Development in 24 Hours, and it's from the Sam's Teach Yourself kind of line of books. Now, I'll link this book down in the description. I don't know if there's a newer revision of it, but this one's very old. I got this back in 2014 as a Christmas present because my family knew that I was into computers and they knew that I played a lot of Minecraft. So I think that they just thought it'd be cool to get me, this programming book based on it. And it actually was really helpful. When I first got the book, I remember reading through it and just thinking how amazing it was. Like, here I was taking the knowledge that I learned in all these tutorials that I watched, but I was actually putting it towards something I was interested in, which was writing my own Minecraft mod. It was so cool. I was adding my own functionalities to the game, and it wasn't as hard as I had originally assumed it was. The more and more I worked on my Minecraft mods, the more and more I started to understand other programming aspects. Like, I learned how to read documentation of code, and I learned how to structure my code in a way that makes, sense programmatically. And as I developed more and more apps, I also kind of broke into the development community, and I met other people that have really helped me learn and grow as a programmer, because they gave me all sorts of ideas and kind of ways of doing things. And it was cool to see how every different programmer thinks a little bit different from everybody else. And I remember just having that realization was kind of mind-blowing to a beginner programmer. Now, I haven't seriously made any mods for the game in a long time, but more recently I actually did create a Minecraft mod for a server my friends and I were playing on about a year ago. So it was kind of cool to take a look back at, Minecraft programming, even though I hadn't done it in about, like 5 years. It was cool to look back on it because, that's really where I really got passionate about coding, was when I started making those Minecraft mods all that time ago. I guess the funny thing is, like, what really got me interested in coding was coding Minecraft mods in Java, but to be honest, I don't really use Java anymore. Nowadays, I mostly use Python or Golang for a lot of my applications. And I haven't really developed anything seriously in Java in a long time. Now, just because I don't develop anything in Java doesn't mean it wasn't beneficial. Like, I definitely have a lot of core concepts that I learned from coding in Java, and a lot of those translate no matter what language you're in. Like, some things don't change, like how to read technical documentation or how to organize your code stays the same pretty much regardless of the language that you're using. So if you're watching this video and you're trying to figure out, how do you get started with programming or learning a language, I'd say the first step most definitely is to pick a language. You can pick whatever language you want. Now, there are languages that are objectively harder to start with than others. But just do your research and find one that you think is good. Find you some good tutorials. If you learn well through video, find you some good YouTube tutorials. If you learn better through like reading, then find you a good book based on that language. And I'd recommend you go through that and get all the basics, like how to print out information to the screen, how to take in user input, how to run a program in that language, period. Then once you have all the basics down and you feel comfortable, find a project that you can attribute all of that learning that you did to. You don't want to fall in the hole of just tutorial after tutorial after tutorial, and having a project in mind and starting that will help you avoid falling into that hole like I did when I first started. For me, when I had first started, the project that I was really interested in was making Minecraft mods. But for you, it can be making a website or maybe even a mobile app. Whatever project you pick, you don't have to see it to completion, but it should be something you're very interested in, because the more interested in the project you are, the more interested you're going to be when you're learning to code. If you pick a project that's like less interesting or something that you're really not too passionate about, then you're gonna get fatigued and you're not gonna want to finish the project, and in turn you're probably going to suffer from learning how to code as well. Well everyone, that's it for this video. So if you liked this video, if you think that it helped you, please hit that like button. If you like this video or any other videos on the channel, please subscribe to the channel for more updates and more coding stuff and things. All right, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys later. Bye.